Intro. Welcome back to Astrea Zodiac. This week, the cosmos is not whispering, it is issuing commands. Saturn and Neptune complete their long-anticipated conjunction in Aries, a once-in-a-generation collision between discipline and dissolution, between the walls we build and the floods that eventually take them down. Pay attention. What breaks this week was always going to break. Aries, Saturn, and Neptune are sitting in your sign simultaneously, and that pressure you have been feeling is not a setback. It is a restructuring at the identity level. You are being asked to separate who you actually are from the story you have been performing for an audience that never really asked for the show. Stop defending a version of yourself that no longer serves the life you are trying to build. The chisel is uncomfortable. The sculpture is worth it. Taurus Venus moves through your sign with unusual weight this week, and what feels like comfort may actually be avoidance, dressed in expensive fabric. Something in your financial or emotional architecture needs honest examination, not tomorrow, not after the weekend, now. The thing you keep moving past is the thing that needs your full attention. Gemini. Mercury sharpens your tongue this week, but sharpness without direction becomes damage. You have information, you have insight, and you have a decision about whether to wield those things with precision or with recklessness. Choose your audience carefully before you speak. Not every room deserves your full intelligence. Cancer. The nodes are activating your axis of home and public legacy, and this week surfaces the tension between who you are in private and who you have allowed the world to see. There is a version of you that has been hiding under the guise of protecting your peace. Consider whether that protection has become a cage. The world is not always the threat you have conditioned yourself to expect. Leo. You are in a visibility moment, and the instinct to perform is strong. But performance and presence are not the same thing, and your audience can feel the difference. Something this week invites you into genuine expression rather than curated display. Show up as the unedited version and watch what that actually magnetizes versus what the polished version has been settling for. Virgo. Your ruling planet is activating a slow-moving transit that asks you to release control over an outcome you have been micromanaging for months. The paradox. The more tightly you hold this situation, the more distorted your perception of it becomes. Trust is not naivety. In your case, right now, trust is a strategic act. Libra relationship dynamics reach a pivot point this week, and the scales you live by are demanding an honest reading, not a diplomatic one. You have a pattern of adjusting your weight to balance someone else, and the structural integrity of that arrangement is under review. Ask yourself what you would choose if equilibrium were not your primary goal. The answer will be clarifying, even if it is uncomfortable. Scorpio. The Saturn-Neptune conjunction is activating your sixth house of systems, routine, and the invisible scaffolding of daily life, and something foundational is either solidifying or dissolving this week, possibly both. Pay close attention to your body's signals. It is processing what your mind has not yet admitted. The physical is always the last to speak, and the most honest when it does. Sagittarius. Creative and romantic energy surges this week, but underneath that surge is a question about whether you are chasing expansion or chasing distraction. You are prone to mistaking novelty for meaning, and the cosmos is specifically testing that tendency right now. Before you commit to the next adventure, internal or external, ask what you are moving toward rather than what you are moving away from. Capricorn. Your foundation is being examined from the inside out this week, and old structures in your home, your family lineage, your emotional architecture are revealing their actual load-bearing capacity. This is not destruction. This is a structural audit. What holds, holds. What falls was never as solid as it appeared, and knowing that is an upgrade, not a loss. Aquarius. The mental landscape is unusually active this week, with ideas arriving faster than you can properly process them. The risk is that you start broadcasting before you have fully received, speaking uncertainties about things that are still forming. Slow the signal down. The transmission will be more powerful if you wait until it is complete. Pisces. Neptune, your ruler, is now in a charged dialogue with Saturn in Aries, and this week you may feel a disorienting collision between your ideals and the material world's refusal to comply with them. This is not evidence that your vision is wrong. It is evidence that your vision needs an infrastructure. Dreams without architecture are just sleep. Build something around what you believe. Closing. That is your cosmic forecast for the week. Saturn and Neptune are not asking for your comfort. They are asking for your clarity. The signs that lean into that invitation will find this week extraordinary. The ones who resist will find it simply difficult. The difference is always a choice. This is Astrea Zodiac, your cosmos, decoded.